Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another Four Guys with Quarters podcast. Today we have two very special guests. Actually the first time Dealer's ever been on the show, and we have a returning guest, King David. I'm gonna go ahead and get into their introductions first. Hey, what's going on, Dealer?
Oh, hey, hi, clowns.
Hey,
Yeah, it's good to finally join the show, man. I'm about to tweet this out. I didn't see this tweet, and it's good to be on here with you and finally be midway here. Who uppercuts all these guys in super chats all the time? King David and VJ. Or sorry, I'm not looking at the screen right now. I think I named right, but it's good to be here with everybody and some guys I've never met or seen before. So it's great.
awesome, man. Yeah, and you know what? A shout out to your video that you dropped today. That gave IGN a run for their money, right?
Yeah, that was yesterday, and yeah, it was fun.
Was it did the
People turn into drama though. I don't want any of the drama with it. Like it wasn't. I said it in the video. It wasn't an attack or anything like that. I just handled it precisely, and yeah, people are like, "Well, fuck IGN," and that's not where I was going with it. I just think they should do better. Right? I'm living in a dumpster behind Wendy's after all, able to do all this stuff, and I think
s
IGN can do a little better.
so you know Fork Boy, huh?
Oh, of
I think
course.
that I
Yeah,
think
I'm
that was
right now. I'm neighbors with Fork Boy.
I think that was
Nice.
absolutely funny when you said that.
Um, well, Dealer, you have a super fan in our chat. His name is Flamish. He looks up to you a lot, so
What's up with
he's
the
a
Flemish? Hello. Yeah, I recognize the name. Shout out to Flemish.
uh King David, man. People have been sending you them knees. You know, the dollar Game Pass is going strong right now. PlayStation's back compatibility's not looking as hot as Microsoft. What's going on, man?
How about that fan fest?
Nice.
Oh boy, how about that fan fest? First of all, I want to say welcome to everybody that's in the panel. Welcome to everybody that's in the chat. Welcome to everybody that's watching. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe. It's about to get deep today. Um, I told people on Mondays. See, when you have good news, you release it on Mondays. You release it on Mondays because you know it's going to trend throughout the week. When you have bad news, you release it on Friday and during the weekend so it could die during the news cycle. And notice that. I want y'all to notice that. Notice that trend. See it, look at it, and that's how you can evaluate exactly where your companies are. Microsoft has been releasing the information on Mondays. Any type of good and new information, any NR non-disclosure agreements are allowed to be released 12 o'clock midnight on Mondays. So that's why you're seeing all these videos happening on Mondays and they're trending throughout the week. So one person will do Yakuza like a dragon, next person. It's not a coincidence. But then you get FanFest, and FanFest is for you guys. FanFest is for each and every last person that's stuck inside the house that can't get out, that wants to do something different, and they're going to interact with you. So again, I'm a keep champion the fact that they are the most consumer friendly console company available today. And if you don't believe it, back it up with facts and come at me, bro.
They almost scoff at FanFest because they've never been invited to a FanFest by Sony. I guess.
Yeah,
And I don't mean to make that like a this versus that thing, but
it
I
is.
heard it. I heard it a lot yesterday. Like people are like scoffing because people are excited for FanFest. I don't care about it at all myself. But I mean, it's almost like because Sony don't really do anything like that. It's like something to scoff at, like that. You could just a little salt on it a little bit. I don't know if you're picking up that vibe.
No, because a lot of times what I've learned from Wilmy Hood, the great Wilmy Hood, is the block button works very well. And
50K. He's at 50K now.
your man's crazy. But it's like I will entertain your BS until you start getting personal and until you start cursing, right? And then I gotta block you and I gotta push you to the side. And a lot of guys know that. I mean, I may joke a lot, but most of my stuff is based on reality and facts. And if they don't like what I'm saying now when I'm talking about the PlayStation will be delayed or should be delayed or I think it's going to be delayed, is because I've been doing this for 40 years. For 40 years, I've been buying my own consoles, right? So I'm 48. So that means at 8 years old, I was buying my own Atari 2600s, right? And I've been doing this for a very long time. So I've been seeing builds up, and I know people who's going to tell me, "Oh, King, it's the COVID and it's the this and it's the that." Well, both companies have been affected by the same conditions. So if one can show gameplay of games and y'all complain that the other one doesn't, then when one shows a console, have the same energy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I see one ready. I see warehouses. I get multiple DMs from different individuals showing me different warehouses across the world that has Xboxes ready to go.
King,
I have not seen
I'm
one
gonna, I'm
PlayStation.
gonna, I'm definitely gonna have to talk to you about that in a second, right after, for sure, right after I
Yeah,
introduce
we still
VJ.
on the intros.
Yeah,
King, calm
sorry,
your fuck
man.
down.
I know, because I need those warehouse connections, King. I'm Italian. I got some
fuck with
people
the
in New
picture.
York. You know what I mean?
I fuck with the picture.
Midway, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up? What's going on, guys? Glad to be back on another Four Guys with Quarter podcast. King in rare form as always. You're gonna have a run for your money with VJ. Might have to set a time button for this podcast, clowns. JK. So got some great topics. Dealer, first time podcasting with you. Happy,
Midway.
happy, joy. So let's get it going.
V. Wow, thanks for all the subscriptions already, guys. It's really appreciated. You get to see Flamish in full action over there. VJ, what's going on, man?
Oh, hi, Clowns. Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me back on the show. Nice to meet you again, David, and nice to meet you too, Dealer. And yeah, all good to go, Clowns, whenever you're ready.
Sound a lot like my buddy Gaz.
Daz, no, I don't sound anything like him.
It's a compliment. I always like talking to Gaz. He said, I don't sound nothing like that motherfucker.
No, he's a nice chap.
Yeah, he is.
Something I want to get into real quick before we get into all those warehouse details. King, I need the coordinates on those. It's probably like a real quick topic. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I don't even know if it's that big of a deal right now, but apparently everybody is flipping out over Yakuza Like a Dragon being 900p, on the Series S at 60 frames per second. To be honest with you, I don't even know how true this is, if this is people just trying to hype something up to get clicks.
I think it is true. I think it is true.
It's true as hell.
But here's the thing, though, and I know where you're going with this. Like, I think people should talk about this because I think you have to do it the right way, though. For one, look at Yakuza. Okay, never been a graphically demanding game. Everyone knows that, right? 900p, 60 FPS. Now look at Gears 5. All right, it looks way fucking better. All right, 1080p, 120 frames. So what that tells you right there is that Coalition have gotten literally, really what it tells you is the Yakuza developers are literally only getting half of the potential horsepower out of that box, really. That's how poorly optimized the game is. And this isn't anything other than a fact. Digital Foundry talked about it's still a game of this era. The game is notorious. All the Yakuza games are notorious to run on PC, and it's because they're just poorly optimized games, man. So anybody running around saying that this is the maximum power of the damn Series S or the X, even, that's silly. Facts is.
Okay. I mean that makes sense. I heard some people saying, I don't know if this is true, Dealer, you might know this or not, but some people were saying that this was really optimized for PS4. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's what I was getting in my DMs from some Yakuza fans, because I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a Yakuza fan. And this is what they're trying to tell me. Oh, let's excuse the studio because this was just optimized for PS4. Is there any facts to that?
It's not optimized for shit, from what I can tell, because it's going to run pretty badly on everything. So,
yeah, it is. the thing is, if you looked at Digital Foundry's take on it, they explain the coming back to 60 frames per second was a big thing, and the developer really wanted that to be a key point, because when the shift made it to the PlayStation 4, they dropped back down to 30 frames per second. Image quality. You got to start looking at image quality as well, because 900p upscale. Because remember, the thing is going to upscale. Maybe it gets to 1080p because it's not final code. But again, who cares? They have a TCL anyway. So I mean, you're gonna break it down to they're upset with, oh, it's running at this, oh, it's running at that. Only people crying and bitching and moaning about it is people that weren't gonna purchase it anyway. And if you want more from it, don't buy the game. Literally, do not buy the game. Don't cry. I don't cry about a Fiat driving down my block. I wasn't buying that car any damn way. So don't cry about a game if you weren't thinking about purchasing it. The way that the company is going to find out if it's a good product or not is by sales. So if you don't patron them, they don't get any sales. They realize they have to make a better product. Very simple. There's no need to check on Twitter talking about, I told you, 900p, the S is weak. Okay. Show me the PlayStation 5 version.
The S is
Oh,
weak, but you've already got multiple games confirmed at 120 frames at well over double 900p. So you know what I'm saying? Like Dirt 5 looks a lot better than Yakuza, 1440p, 120 FPS or some crap, right? Like they showed it on the S, right? I mean, Gears 5, they've already shown it running at 120 frames at over 1080p. You're going to see a lot more games like this. I feel like this is pretty cut and dry. And really, I think the reason people should kind of talk about it a little bit in the right light is to kind of demand more from those developers, right? I feel like it's pretty obvious that hardware is not being utilized to its fullest. But I mean, again, I'm not going to play it anyway. So really, it's up to the fans to kind of ask those developers to hire a different technical director, do something, right?
Sega, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
Sega.
it's like,
Yeah.
Okay, then. That's
They're
enough said.
they're the ones that I want Microsoft to buy. I guess after
No.
this,
don't buy
I might-
them. Don't listen to
Yeah.
clowns, Microsoft. He's a fraud.
Yeah, don't listen to clowns, please.
you know,
Yeah.
speak,
We don't need
speak-
Sonic the Hedgehog over here lowering our overall meta scores and lower than they are.
Speaking of fraud, when Gaz did his super chat, he said, "Dealer's a fraud," and then
Yes, you bastard.
Asante said, "Respected Dealer, King, and whole Four Guys crew. Speak on facts, gentlemen." So I guess Dealer and King are telling me facts about Yakuza now. I'm gonna have to go sit in the corner and cry. You know, and take off
Demand
my
more,
Sega
clown.
glasses. What's that?
Demand better. You want that 1080p 60. Come on.
I mean,
Tweet at him.
Do you play Yakuza? Is Yakuza your thing?
Yeah, I like Yakuza, man. I like the series. I like the story, to be honest with you. But I mean, there is facts that sometimes there is hiccups in those games. I mean, can't deny that. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, can this move any faster? So
Do you have a Series S or X on pre-order?
oh, that's a funny story, King. I'm glad you got into that
I was
because
just about to mention that.
yes, yeah. I don't know if you heard the story that was all over
I did.
Twitter. Yeah, a baby stole my damn X, and the manager at GameStop allowed this crap to happen.
Because you should have punched the baby in the face.
Well,
and the
you
guy
wonder why
that had
King's
the
always
lady
wearing
come out the
sunglasses.
car that wasn't there before, that was holding a wallet, you should have hit her too. You should have kicked them both off the line, and you should have got their purchases. I'm just saying,
yeah, but King, this is this is Florida. I'd be like,
don't do that.
Taken in the swamp by some hillbilly cop.
Somebody clip that and show somebody in 6-7 years.
Yeah, but I told
King it authorizes the beating of children. Apparently,
I know, right? They're gonna switch that around. Yo, Dilla,
Hot stove.
I told him,
Don't do it again.
He's in Florida. He has stand my ground rules. Put a little barrier around you, right? Go in front of them. Put a little barrier
just
around
surround
you.
yourself with alligators. All right, clowns, you'll be all right.
And then
You know, I was thinking because in Florida, it's legal to own a dwarf alligator, and I'm thinking classify it as an emotional support animal because in Florida you don't even need a certificate. You could just say it's ESA and put it on like a junkyard leash and walk around with it. Like that's my little pet, you know? Be like, Gator, that guy pissed me off. Get me my X. You know, let that little Gator chase him.
So you don't have an
Gator,
X?
snatch that baby.
No, I got an S though. I was able to pre-order an S.
Oh, okay.
So
So that's why you're messed up, mad ups. Okay, I get it now.
yeah. Yeah, so what I figure I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold on to the S anyway because they're gonna get X's again, and
hmm
then I'm just using that so I could trade in, get 200 for the Xbox One Scorpio because they have the extra bonus trade in towards the S or the X, and then just flip it over the X. I'm just gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
I'm gonna put something in this Discord real quick. I just saw this on Twitter. It's hilarious. Uh, Shout out to Josh on Twitter. He replied to Greenberg with this, and I think it's funny. The longer you watch it, you're like, "Damn, they really have been building an arsenal over the past 7 years, huh?"
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for those pallets to roll in, King. You know, you gotta let me know the coordinates here in Florida. Hit 'em
Well,
up.
see, the thing with that is, I had DMs from all over, literally all over, like different places and different pictures. One guy was like, "Oh, please don't post a picture, because then they're gonna know who it was because I'm the only security guy here." I got you. I'm not gonna post that. But I saw them, and the only reason why that other video that I posted up, it was because he already made that public, and it was behind the scenes video that he put up of when he opened the packaging. I don't think that's fair for people to see that experience, if they're waiting for that experience. I kind of spoiled it for myself because usually I like opening, the boxes, and I think Microsoft has gotten really good with that stuff. Did you get a Surface Duo dealer? Anybody in the chat? Anybody
I don't
who
even know
got
what
it?
the fuck that is, King.
Okay, well, it's their new cell phone, right? I guess.
Well, I bet I want a Surface cell phone, King.
I have no idea.
What is this? The cell phone podcast?
Well, a lot of people got it. Ye got one, right? So, and he
No,
purchased
he
it with his
bought.
own money.
He bought
Yeah,
his own.
he purchased it with his own money. But the unboxing of it, because I saw it on unboxing, it's beautiful. Well, the packaging. We're just talking about the packaging stuff here, and Microsoft has been doing really well with their packaging, and they have been doing that for a while now. It's an experience. So I didn't want to post that video or that those pictures, but I posted the warehouse video just to let people know they're in warehouses right now and they're shipping, and they should be at this point in the game. You're 3 weeks out, so it should be getting to retail stores, and it should be in the back, and then the street dates won't be broken unless it's mom and pop stores, and you better not go on online with them because they're gonna brick your consoles. But that stuff should be happening. I'm not seeing it from the opposition, and yes, I'm saying opposition because I'm in the camp that's green, so I don't give. But I don't see it from that side, and that's a level of concern. And I have 4 pre-orders with that other camp, and I'm thinking, am I going to get them? That's my biggest concern. Will I fulfill my pre-orders? I don't know. I think December 12th is their launch date, not November 12th.
You know, King, I gotta ask you this. Whatever happened to those days in the 1980s when they would roll through Canal Street, you know? I miss those days, King.
I don't know, man. Those days is over.
Yeah, they are. They are. Um, Midway or VJ, you got any thoughts on this Yakuza at 900 P?
I I've never played Yakuza, sadly. It looks interesting. I like the way it looks. Yeah.
Um,
But like I always say from the beginning, I got frames eyes. I don't have resolution eyes. Guys, I feel like I get more out of a game with frames. So, and everything upscales on televisions, so I'm not worried about 900p. I mean, I had an Xbox One. But yeah, that's 60 frames. I'm good with it.
So nice that we're getting better frame rates. BJ, what were you saying?
Yes.
I was just going to say, I'm on a bit of medication, so sorry if I go slightly off topic.
I'm feeling good. Hang on.
But
Wait, you're not naked like last podcast, are you?
absolutely, no shame here. Over the I've really enjoyed, and I hope Clowns was being serious when he said he enjoyed Yakuza, otherwise we'll have a problem. But I've really enjoyed the various entries into the Yakuza series from Sega. Although it's completely separate from the Yakuza storylines, Judgment was also an excellent game and pretty much set in the same fictional district, I think, Kamurocho and Tokyo, wherever it's called. I managed to secure an Xbox thanks to Boom last week with Costco. So I'm actually, first and foremost, really looking forward to playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I'm glad it's definitely going to incorporate an English dub, which I think will be helpful for me. My eyesight's not what it used to be when reading subtitles. But anyway, that's my shameless plug out of the way. In terms of the article that Clown sent through, I had a very quick glance at it. I'm not really sure, like with all of these sort of media, topics and articles that they put out in terms of what the story, the issue, or the question actually really is here, if there is one. Other than that, it really just provides information as to sort of when and where you can enjoy, sort of this game, and the level of visual fidelity, attractiveness you can expect, right, on certain devices. And these days, what I'm quite surprised about is that we all know, right, that we can choose to stream or download our content. Content being anything from music, TV shows, movies, or video games. You can assume, right, that any content. So you can consume any content, right, pretty much through your phone or your tablet. But if you prefer to sort of have a more enhancive or immersive experience, then you can do so, right, by your TV and or your monitor, or if you're fortunate to have some sort of decked out home theater. So when it comes to sort of specifically in terms of video games, and I think King was mentioning something, alluding to this in his comments, is that in this instance, right, accessing Yakuza Like a Dragon via the Xbox ecosystem, you can enjoy it via xCloud on your mobile device, which is great, especially being a turn-based action RPG, or a Series S device, or alternatively, for the most discerning gamer who is seeking that highest level of immersion, he or she is free to do so via PC or an Xbox Series X. It's fundamentally down to a personal desire, right, or a preference as to how much you want to invest and how you choose to consume your content, be it either casually or be it really deeply or meaningfully. I, for one, and this is why I have a slight distaste for these kinds of articles, have never been, with all the Yakuza games that I've played, I've never been concerned with the resolution or frame rate that was on display, or if did that in any shape, way, or form determine my enjoyment of the game, right? I never recall that aspect of it ever, right? So as I've said before, and I've said this to Clowns as well in a private DM and a tweet maybe, right? And there's something that a friend imparted to me, a dear friend of mine. He used to say to me that there's a really important and continuing thread here in this sort of day-to-day constant chit-chat, right, amongst tech talk and spec analysis, which seems to just flood social media. And I haven't been on social media for very long, so you'll have to apologize. My knowledge is kind of limited, probably in comparison to you guys. But what's fundamental for me and what here is one another, not necessarily the technology, right? And we've all evolved sort of like meaningfully incorporating play into our lives and community development. In that sense, be it music, drawing on the walls in the olden days, stories by the campfire, or even rolling dice, it's always to the extent to which creators can engage the user or player's imagination that's paramount, not the technology or benchmarking or any of that stuff. Even back from when I was playing the black and white Game Boy, right? I mean, I appreciate that money obviously takes the sting out of being poor, and for me, tech often provides quality of life improvements, and that's it, right? So anyway, I'll stop there. Otherwise, I'll be going on for days.
That's okay, VJ.
Beautiful.
You're the most analytical dude I know when it comes to gaming.
Sorry.
It's just the fact that what he's saying is absolutely true, right? So when you think about it, he's telling you that you can partake inside these games in any level that you want to. So you say the entry-based people, the TLC dudes, they're going to come in on the S, right? There they go. Boom. You're inside. Yay! And if you got a nice little cell phone while you're at the doctor's office, you can play Yakuza, right? Are you worrying about 900p, 60 frames per second there? No, you're not. You're just looking at getting in your fix, right? Your tablet, you're looking at getting in your fix, right? Okay. You want to pay $500 and get yourself an X, and you want it a little bit higher? Boom, there you go. You want a 3080, 3090? You want to pay $10,000 on your PC? Go ahead. Live that life. Put it up to 200 frames per second. Do what you want. It's
You
possible.
want to know what a problem in this community is? It's people like this dude Tiger, this fucking idiot right here, right? I just got a tweet. Apparently, this guy 5 hours ago, right? He's watching. I'm sorry, clowns. I got to do this on the show because I enjoy this sometimes. This
That's
dude
all right,
Tiger,
man. Go ahead.
basically, I was talking about the performance delta between the two boxes, PS5, Xbox, right? People are asking me, and that's why I said a $400 PS5 is a great buy because at $500 you have more performance. That's a fact. How much more performance? Well, how good of you to ask? Let me tell you. I think it's about, I don't know, I've said overall multiple times 40 or so frames per second. When at the exact same settings, exact same resolution, if the GPUs were just flying as high as they could go, how many more frames per second could you get? Not what the games would run at. So people like this guy Tiger, and somebody send this to this idiot, right? Are running around with a screenshot of me clearly explaining the delta in terms of overall performance, just trying to misrepresent what I'm actually trying to say. And that's one of the biggest problems of this community are people like Tiger who have been exposed by people like Bill Stillwell on my podcast for trying to say audio took 6 teraflops on the Series X. I mean, these are the same guys trying to run around and they will literally lie their face off over and over and over, trying to make you look like you said something you didn't, just because they don't like Xbox. And I'm telling you, man, it's one of those things where this is what they live for, actually. And it's kind of mind blowing, clowns. So, clowns, as your show grows, just know that, if you're very opinionated at all, and if you have any kind of success at all, you're going to get people like Tiger here who've done nothing with themselves at all. They built no positivity. They take stuff from 20,000 years ago and try to spin it. And they take stuff like this performance delta tweet and just lie about it over and over and over. And they're gonna try to bring that stuff into your life. So be prepared for that because it's gonna be fun to just smack them down over and over.
Dealer, I had that experience recently, actually. Number one with Game Pass, because I've been talking about Game Pass because I think it's such a great deal. I had Sony fans come at me, like hardcore trolls, saying, "Oh, well, what's wrong with PS Now? Why do you like Game Pass? Game Pass is terrible. It's like a rental service." And I'm sitting there like, "What is so different about PS Now? It's the same thing. You just." If you want to call it a rental service, it's the same thing with PS Now, except at least with Xbox, I can play on the go anywhere I go. So that was one of the things. And
But you're
then
not allowed to think that, clowns. You're not allowed
I
to.
know I
Yeah.
can't. The ponies are outside kicking my door down, dealer. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to call King here to get
I don't
some
even talk
needs.
to these people. I don't even talk to them. Like, I literally have nothing to do with people like Tiger, Animorph motherfucker over here. Like, I have nothing to do with them. But they're
See, that's
obsessed
the
with
Glad
it.
difference
I'm new.
between me and Dilla. See, Dilla is he has too much. How can I say it? He's just not gonna do it. He has too much stuff that he has to do. Have you ever seen the production value in his videos?
Oh yeah, man.
He ain't got no time for you. I got time. I do one video a week and one podcast.
Well, I think
I
too
got
you enjoy it.
time.
Like, I've been, keep in mind, I started off like I started off like an idiot, saying a bunch of dumb shit that I should have never been saying, and going basically fighting fire with fire, calling people what I was getting called in comment sections. Not really thinking about what it meant, right, or
Yeah.
any of that stuff. And really, I did it for so long, and I'm like, man, like, you come to a point in your life where you don't care about that crap anymore, and you do what you do, you live, you want to enjoy gaming, you come forward in your mentality and the way that you think, and people, you're still at that stage where you've been crushing skulls and you still love it, but on your 5 millionth skull, you're like, holy shit, this is getting boring, like. There's something about that, King. It's nice. I'm a little bit jealous. You're still out there, got a flag in someone's head. You're out there stomping people, and I remember those days.
I like collecting the knees, Dilla. I just got boxes and boxes. And if y'all notice, it's like more boxes, and they get bigger and bigger because I get bigger idiots. So
Yeah.
the knees are a little bit
You-
bigger. I get
you know
those
what
couch potatoes.
You know what I love to see on King's timeline is when people say, "Hey King, did you ever unbox this statue? Hey King, did you ever do this statue?" And he's like, "Look at the damn website. It's on there."
That's this part. And I'm like, it's cool because and nobody's gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask anybody to sit there because I don't have thousands of videos. I probably only have like 63. And if you're looking at my boxing content is a little bit lower because of this COVID stuff. But we're about to pick it up. We got Lomachenko versus Teofimo coming up. But shameless plug. But if you ever went and looked, you see all the videos of all the statues, and I asked to engage with me about that stuff. But it's about your passion, right? And there's only few people, and I said a lot because people don't get it. If people don't meet my level of passion, there's three people that I watch for their content. They are content creators. I'm a podcaster. A content creator is sitting in this room, all right? And he does it at the highest damn level. So I owe it to him to watch his stuff, and it's his stuff and his cult stuff and his Rand stuff that I watch religiously because they're doing it at the highest damn level and they're giving me different things from individuals. But I say this to say, if you find something wrong with somebody's content, if you find something wrong with what they're saying, maybe you don't like how the message is being delivered, right? And then see if it's right, or if it's wrong. Dilla hasn't been wrong. He just ain't like the truth that he was speaking to you. So Tiger, I'm sorry for you, man. But you're not going to win that battle because he hasn't been telling lies. It's just facts that you just can't accept at this moment. But you'll come to that point in your life. But me, you can hit me up on Twitter, and I'll break your knees off for free.
Wow.
I'll get you.
You know what, King? I need you here out in the boondocks of Florida because we went to that little baby. You know, I had a little problem with that little baby, and
You would have got your ex that day if I was in line with you.
yeah.
That whole family would have been packed up back into the little minivan, and they would have drove off. You know the funniest thing about when that guy tried to cut the line, right? It was absolutely hilarious, right? It's absolutely hilarious because he called. I guess he called his friends because I was trying to tell him ahead of time. It's not going to happen. What you think is going to happen is not going to happen. Oh, okay. You think I'm laughing? I'm joking. I'm all right. I'm 6'4" with sneakers on, right? So yeah, 6'4", 265 now. Used to be 275. 265 pounds, and I can fight for real. I can fight.
You saying
And
you're
I
gonna
like
fight
it.
someone over an Xbox? Is that what you're saying
Yes,
right now?
daily. Yes.
Ah!
Yes. It's called the sanctity of the line. You will not break the line. You see these people? I get the whole Walmart fights on Black Friday. I get that. Somebody tries to skip the
Over
line.
TCLs.
If you're gonna get the TCL, hey man.
Hashtag return to TCL.
But is respect, and he should have respected the sanctity of the line. So yeah, definitely you would have got your ex with on that line with you. But the guy called back a couple of dudes in cars, and so they came and they hopped out the cars. So I guess he must have told them, yeah, it's these dudes at the game store. So I guess the little hood dudes, because they younger than me and they ain't grow up with what I was doing, and they pull up like, yeah, yo, these little video game dudes. So I hopped out the car. Yes.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm waiting for it, King. I'm waiting for it.
And I think the biggest dude looked over at him and was like, hop back in his car. The other little dude was like, see you later. Let's go to another place that might have them. You should do that. I think that's a thing that you should do because it's never size. I once got my behind beat by a little Spanish dude when I first walked into the gym, and I was getting my butt beat so bad that I thought they was taking pictures of me. I thought somebody was outside the ring taking pictures with a camera because he was hitting me so fast, and I saw so many lights that I thought I was like in a Rocky film, and they was just taking pictures like, psh. No, those was me getting hit. So it's not about size. It's all about that fight inside the dog and respecting your space. So yeah, you would have got your ex that day because nobody should have just stopped in front of you. That was your ex. Now you got an S. So when you're looking at that 900p and that 60 frames per second, know that you should have fought that day for that 4K.
Well, the problem is, if the kid would have hit me, I definitely would have threw a punch back. But here in Florida, man, if the sheriff in this town, he'd just arrest you for anything. So I would have been arrested, never got my ex. I
Let's
got
not fight over video games. Well, no punching, no baby smashing, nothing like that over Xboxes, King.
Let's just
Hey,
take the
what's the next
pacifiers.
topic, Clowns? We've been talking about fighting for some reason. What's the fuck's going
Because
on?
we got King on here,
Wow.
we got
Wow.
King, what are you
that.
doing? This ain't Rocky 5.
Listen, Clowns did that. I didn't do that. Fine.
You did that.
Fine.
Don't be
All
lying.
right.
Well, speaking of fighting, right? I mean, this is another King fighting topic here. Is this, the Game Pass stuff, right? It's really cool. And Microsoft is very straightforward with the Game Pass backwards compatibility right now. But it seems like have you guys read the PlayStation blog on the explanation of their backwards compatibility for PlayStation 5? Did you guys find it as confusing as I did?
I don't think they know what the fuck's going on yet.
Yeah, I don't think they know what's going on either. So anyway, I was reading it, and there's like so many different things. Like this will work with DualShock 4, this will work with DualSense 5. This may, you may be happy with the graphics. Try it out. You never know. You might like it. It was in there. What else was in there? Oh my god, they just went on about like all this ridiculous stuff and fine print after paragraph to paragraph instead of just saying this game will work, this game won't work. And then there's even more confusion, right? There's some that were like, oh, this game will get you an upgrade. And then for these games, click here to see if it's upgradable. And then if there's a fee to upgrade these games. Like, it's not very clear. And I think it's just like terrible marketing on behalf of Sony. It's like they just threw it all together and said, crap, we can't compete with Microsoft's backward compatibility, so we're just going to throw something together and hope that everybody just likes it and they're happy with whatever it looks like. I mean, did you guys feel the same way when you read it? Did you guys read it?
Yep. Who are you asking?
I'm letting everybody else go.
He's asking you, VJ.
Oh, okay. So I think the important fact here is that the maturity of the Xbox's backwards compatibility program or system or whatever you want to call it, and the ease with which consumers can interpret it is far more transparent or clearer than PlayStation's. I think that's pretty obvious. I think Microsoft's historically, from where I've been in the UK, is looking over the pond, have always sort of designed hardware and software with an ethos of like, here's your creative freedom, but do not set yourself up for failure. Here are your parameters, and that in itself has its pros and cons. And then you've got like, in this specific instance, Microsoft's sort of deep lying experience, I think, has historically been in software, and you can see how it served them very, very well. And if you look at Sony, in my experience, are primarily like an electronics company, and their ethos is design hardware and software with creative freedom, but with that little bit more bravery to fail. And that's also had its pros and cons over the years. You just have to look at the PlayStation 3. Although technically revered and showed that, but it showed that Sony fundamentally at the time of the launch and the difficulties developers had was still needed. Sony as a company still needed to sort of understand the evolving long-term nature and purpose of entertainment software. And I think this is where Microsoft sort of lead the way a little bit more. I think, but you have to look at both companies. They're both founded in very different parts of the world with incredibly sort of contrasting cultures from my perspective. Far from for me to speak, because I'm somewhere sort of straddling in the middle, but you've got like seasoned players and gamers like you guys on the panel, and then you've got like first time buyers of video games consoles. And I think backwards compatibility may be a critical factor in purchasing a new device, and that's fine if you're sort of like that way inclined. But for most, and for me, it's just a nice feature to have. I don't know the statistics, like out of 100,000 what the numbers are. That's not really the point for me right now. But historically, it's not sort of been proven to be critical in the sense of making or breaking Xboxes, Nintendo's, or Sony's long-term sort of business plans. At launch, though, it's always served as a fantastic PR tool, and it's one you can only wave, I think, wave around and utilize to great effect in the beginning, right? Longer term, we have to see how that works and how many people sort of adore themselves to it. In regards to sort of Sony specifically, this is just my opinion. Looking back, I kind of believe that Mark Cerny had said during the sort of, I think what was that presentation, Road to PlayStation or something, back in March, I think it was. Yeah. However, as is typically these days, and I find this on social media a lot, is that very few people hear, but very few people, people hear, but very few people actually listen and process what someone has said. And I'm guilty of that as well. I have to be honest with you. I do honestly try to listen with intent, but it's sort of difficult for me, especially on this medication. No, I'm just kidding. So Mark said, Mark said, and feel free to correct me, because I don't always have all my facts right now, and I always often look to the panel to support me. Is that he said I think he said that, look, 100 PS4 games, the top 100 PS4 games or whatever, is in something towards that effect that will work on the PS4.
He said up to 100 PS4 games from the top 100 list.
Exactly. Thank you.
Will be back compatible. Yeah.
Exactly, right. And he said that, and he said exactly, and he said while others are being tested, and the updates will be forthcoming further down the line. And I think maybe it's just me, or maybe I'm just having like a deja vu, but because my brain's not wired correctly. But even prior to this recent Sony blog, I think it had been made clear, for me at least, that PlayStation 4 games are compatible with PS5, but I can't recall where or when I saw that. For me at least, the new blog hopefully answers outstanding questions or queries, if not eloquently, at least more officially. I think that's the important thing here. It's still confusing. Perhaps someone in the community may well produce a YouTube video breaking down the explanation in a more sort of rudimentary fashion, with any gripes and pitfalls for transparency. I think that's really key. The Xbox One is so easy to understand. Having said all that, I do think that Sony need the PlayStation 4 backwards compatibility as part of the PS5 sales pitch. If they didn't think of it, if it was an afterthought, if they just rushed it, that's a problem. It's needed to help transition players, as Jim says, aggressively to the PS5, while trying to break all sorts of numbers. But at the same time, we can see that they're going, and they've done this with all hardware generations, PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, by making sure that they see out a system and they rinse every penny out of them. And the PlayStation 4 is no different over the next couple of years, right? Or however many years it's going to take them to transition people over, right? Because obviously Microsoft aren't on the canvas this time, right? They're up and ready. They put themselves in a position to even surpass everything they achieved with the Xbox 360. So I am expecting an inevitable price drop. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with the PS4 in relation to the Series S, for example. Right? I'm just shooting the breeze. I don't have any facts or anything, so don't worry about all that. But for me, as a gamer, and I think for a lot of people, especially with the world situation as it is right now, I think there's value, and a solid games library is always going to be key for many users. And I think Microsoft saw that PlayStation has done that. They've increased the volume of content with increased quality over lifespan. And that's what they've historically always pointed to. Hence why right now is people are wondering and gasping and looking at the popularity of Game Pass, because I think that answers a huge question, a massive tick in the box, right? And I know we sort of joke around by Game Pass and people say, yeah, it's sustainable, it's not sustainable. And I'm doing some numbers maybe for another podcast to talk about that. But fundamentally for me, it's where your friends and family play, and that factors into what system you purchase and where you might apply your gaming time in the future. Although also, and I've been a big sorry, go on.
That's all right, VJ.
I'm really finished.
Klaus jumped in, slap that.
You've got
VJ had a lot of good points, though. I mean, yeah, of course,
he does.
Friends list and games, of course, is like your ecosystem, right? That's why we were all on the Xbox One. And the shit was running 720p box, right? I mean, because we prefer the Xbox ecosystem. Makes sense.
Absolutely, but there's something far more important, and I know that Microsoft are working to get this right. But the most important thing to me, and the biggest gateway drug, and the most sensible business plan, and if they can really sort of cement this, there's been some problems in Europe. I don't know in Europe. I don't know about the US. Is the All Access program, which I constantly keep an eye on, and that really does allow for more people to access the hardware, but also because given the both hardware proposition, even Tech Nintendo and all three have a really good hardware and software proposition this time around. It's far better than we've ever experienced. Well, in my time, 40 years of playing games, and dual console ownership, if not three console ownership, is going to become more prevalent as we go forward. Xbox, for me, continually do point out to backwards compatibility and discuss how important it is, and I believe it is. But what I'm hoping, and I don't want to push it too hard, because I wouldn't want all 120 million PlayStation 4 owners to believe that, right, too much, right, or buy into it too much and push for it too much, or hold that sentiment really close to their hearts.
Yeah, you don't want them to like hold on to shit too tightly.
Yeah, you got to look at the other way around, right? And why am I saying that? Just from a business perspective, I'm not in either camp or anything, all that sort of nonsense. Or they could conceivably, PlayStation owners, remain in Sony's ecosystem, since the hardware software tie ratio I think is 10-1, and Lord knows. And I was thinking the other day, yeah, that's fine, but how much money has actually been spent on DLC? And then I think there's a guy called Daniel Ahmed is on Twitter, and I was really shocked when I saw that PlayStation's total revenue of 5.6 billion in Q1. I was shocked when I saw 41% of that, 2.3 billion, was pure DLC.
Well, now, BJ, I gotta say this.
Damn, BJ, you're on a roll over here. We got the batteries and theorem and all this shit figured out on a wall on a chalkboard. I mean, shit.
When it comes to analyzing stuff, BJ like knows everything, dealer. Like he memorizes every line, every number, everything back to like 2000. He's a genius.
I mean, really, one of the biggest things isn't even really the hardware. They're doing great with the hardware. I mean, they got their console down to where the 360 was, right? $300. I mean, the thing is, they're going beyond the hardware. It's xCloud, exceeding into your cell phone, getting rid of that barrier altogether. That's like the number one thing that's really going to separate this upcoming generation from the last, really. But I mean, 100%. Like Sony doing the same thing, and I don't give a fuck how much money they're making. I don't care how much Microsoft's making. I want great games. They're buying studios, and really, that's all of us want, right? Except for Gas. I mean, he wants blow up dolls, but the rest of us want great games.
True. No, that's
$1,000 blow up dolls.
I will agree with that. But something David, I think David said this, but he's a boxer and he can answer this much better than me. Even when you're looking at an opponent, right, you don't just look at their weaknesses, you look at their strengths and how do you overcome those strengths. So I am always looking, when I talk about Sony or when I talk about Microsoft with my Sony hat or my Xbox or my Nintendo hat, I look at their strengths. I look at where possibly in the future there may be convergence points where we have to take on certain aspects of their business model that will improve ours. Sorry? Actually, I'm going to stop there.
Yes, the guest and a D-batch blowed.
Carry on, sorry.
No, BJ, no. He's talking about
what you're saying is right. Like when you have to adapt to the strengths of your opponent, and that's something that you have to look at, because I always thought that Sony's strengths was the power of their design. They always made eye-catching design. Always, for some weird reason. Like, listen, you can look at the Xbox One X, and you can the Xbox One. Let's say the first Xbox One and the first PlayStation. All it was the same thing, but on a slant. Put little cuts here and there, but it looked better though. Like, and the Xbox was like, okay, a two-tone thing. I don't know. It's just Sony.
Sound like you're getting a massage right now.
Yeah, but
I know, right? Because I fall in love with these boxes. When you're getting them, you open them up the boxes, you're happy. They're like your new kids because they're gonna be there for a while until they graduate, and then you gotta sell them.
That PS2 Slim now looks like an anomaly.
Yeah, but this one, I think this PS5 is going. Their Slim or their Pro is going to be extremely small, because the level of heat sink. Did you see that heat sink in that fan? They're just making sure. They're making sure that it does not overheat. You don't get any red ring of death. They're going above and beyond.
Well, that fan looks like high quality, so let's hope it never stops spinning.
Well, it looks like high quality. Is it? I don't know. I don't have it. Nobody got it. Nobody had it.
PS5 heatsink, one you can murder a family with. Yeah.
Looks like a ray gun.
There's one thing I was gonna say that I think VJ kind of missed, is that on the Sony backwards compatibility stuff, is that if you sell your PS4 or your PS4 Pro, you're kind of screwed on some of your backwards compatibility if you want to carry your save games over, because apparently it transfers via Wi-Fi from your PS4 to your PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I
Is that true?
mean,
I thought it
Yeah.
was you could do it via USB as well, right?
what
That's
I
how
read said Wi-Fi.
I think whoever does a video is going to get 500,000 hits.
Well, if they can ever get a PlayStation. See,
Them shits is locked down.
you're getting right to that part right there where that you see the controller all over, and the only time you did see a PlayStation, I don't think those ones where they were having those guys there play it were working. I don't care. It was stationary on the table. They weren't able to touch the machine. Wires went down into the table. I don't care. I don't care. The tear down, the lead engineer who has several probably master's degrees in engineering had to take it apart. and I didn't see him put it back together. But this machine, when it comes out, it's going to be a technical marvel as far as looks, as far as how they got it to be where they're at. But when you're talking about the strengths of PlayStation, I think the strengths of PlayStation, and they grew these strengths over a period of time, because I remember when they were a joke. I remember when they came in the game and it was Sega and it was Nintendo, and we were clowning them until they started purchasing different IPs, and they had that Final Fantasy. That was the key into the game, and they started moving forward with that. They lied to people when they sold you the CGI, and you thought that was the actual game until you got Final Fantasy and realized it wasn't an action game and it didn't
Dinosaur
look like
demo.
that. Right,
Dinosaur
7.
demo, yeah.
Yeah, so, but they learned. They crafted they crafted their stuff, and their first party studios are really good, right? And they make very compelling games. I tell everybody till this day, The Last of Us 2 is my game of this generation. But they have gaping holes, and those gaping holes Microsoft is taking advantage of. Backwards compatibility, they're going to have to address it. Now, when your CEO, is fundamentally against that, because he said it in the past, nobody wants to play old games, then that means that wasn't on the forefront of their mind. So that leaves a gaping hole that Microsoft was able to step in, control that space, and become synonymous with it, and become a strength. Because they know going forward, and you got to think, it was a foreshadowing going forward, because this year is the year where everybody's lacking a good launch lineup. So you're going to fall back on your older games, make your older games new again. They understand that. And like you were saying, it was very ambiguous when they were telling you how to play the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4 games on your PlayStation 5. Oh, some games may not work. And then there's a caveat. You may have to purchase something when you go to the store, but how do you download it? Do you need Wi-Fi? Do you need a USB? Do you need an SSD? Do you need a DDA? What the hell do you need? Do you need a PhD?
Generations, King. They need generations.
But they don't believe
A
in it. But yes,
TCL.
they do now. What's going on? What's here? Come on, they're confused. I really think Microsoft got them off their game with their strengths, and they're looking over and they're seeing Game Pass be as successful as it is. And I don't care. Like Dale said, I don't care about their money. I don't care if it's sustainable. I'm playing Doom Eternal, bro.
It's definitely sustainable. Like they already said the shit was profitable like almost a year ago or some shit. So, again, they're making a lot of money off this stuff, and they're not necessarily making a lot of money off this stuff at this moment, but they are already profitable according to Phil. And again, this is one of those plans where they didn't expect to be even profitable yet. So I really don't care. I think they're trying to change the way that you consume media, and the more people they get to subscribe to this thing, the better it's going to work for them. It's kind of like their Azure network. Like cloud is very expensive to get into, and you can only get money off of this if you get customers that want to use the service, right? Sony, Ubisoft, Activision, etc., right? And that's their plan with Game Pass, is that get you to change your idea of how you consume media, and it's gotten so convenient to download hundreds of games over time, man. I mean, 15 plus million users already, right? How much longer can the $1 deal be an excuse for people? How much longer, right? PS Network, PS Now was free for a week. Like you didn't even have to pay $1, but we weren't throwing that shit out there. It's all free users. No, like it's just what companies do. So again, the $1 deal bullshit that people keep throwing around, like, it's so dumb. Enjoy a great service that you can either partake in or not, depending on if you want to. Who gives a shit, right?
Dilla, I found out Microsoft's sneaky little plan. On the 23rd of October, Game Fan Fest will start.
Say by Sega?
He just opened a King got his leg crossed. He just opened a storybook.
Right? Listen. And it will start. And I want to know how many people signed up for Fan Fest that don't have a Game Pass or don't have an Xbox that's interested. They're bored. I'm signing up, let me get in this. And they get in. I'm pretty sure that they're going to give away 1 month or 2 to 3 months of Game Pass to these trivia questions that they're going to be asking people, and you're going to be doing these little tasks and stuff, participating in Game Pass and talking to execs all the way up to launch. How many new Game Pass subscribers are they going to garner from the 23rd to the launch? And once you're in that ecosystem, you're going to stay. So if they get 5,000 just off of Game Pass, and then they start shipping out all that swag that they had to get rid of anyway from Game Pass from this year, because that stuff was already built up from last year, and they could just ship it out because they ask you for your address and stuff, and they just ship it out to your house. Now you got a book bag, and you got a hard drive, or you got a controller. You're actively looking to purchase into Microsoft ecosystem. I think it's absolutely genius. I think Game Pass is going to be what we expect it to be, because they're purchasing talent to fill it. And next year, once those Western RPGs start to hit from the ZeniMax deal, because it's not just a Bethesda deal, then the fruits of their labor will start to bear fruit. You will start to see, you can start picking off that tree. And I really think that's the plan right now for this Fan Fest.
Nice.
I was really thinking about it.
One surprise. I mean, Xbox and Microsoft in general, I think, has been a lot more aggressive going into next generation. I think they got their foot in back, and I think with the fan support, I think the execs feel really confident going into next generation. It's something I'm really excited for, King, and I think Game Pass was a huge factor because it's been more successful than I think they could have even imagined. Real quick, I just want to catch up on one of the super chats. KY Bob says to dealer, my man, congratulations on 90K YouTube subscriptions. So the PS5 is a dust catch. So when that's full and you don't clean it out, will begin to clog the heat sink, I'm guessing.
Why you gotta throw shade at the PS5, man? Come on. They got bug snags.
There's flaws.
No, man. Again, like I just actually got informed that my pre-order for PS5, I lost that, so I had to try to find another dude next to a dumpster to sell me a PS5 when it comes out. I don't know. Trying to get one as soon as possible. I'd like to have one day one. I don't need one because apparently now fucking Dark Souls is coming to the PS4. You guys, Demon Souls, right? You guys hear about that?
Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Demon Souls, that next gen game that you need for your PS5. Apparently, I mean, 100%. I'm not 100% right now, but on their own site, it even shows a PS4 case. So I don't know what's happening with that. But the point is we've told you guys from the beginning that it doesn't need to be next gen only to look gorgeous, and that's kind of the way things are going with the same machine language as PC now. And there's nothing in Demon Souls in terms of a gameplay design perspective that old hardware is going to hold back. So it only makes sense that graphics, as they do, would scale, right? Demon Souls looks great. So if it does come to PS4, don't be surprised. But I don't necessarily need a PS4 to play Spider or a PS5 to play even Demon Souls or Spider-Man. So why am I getting one? Well, because I fucking want to, and I want the performance, and I want the visuals, and that's why I'm buying a next-gen console. Or I just play everything on PC anyway, right? So it's one of those things where you like what you like, and I'm gonna try to find a PS5 next to a dude in a dumpster. Fork boy, where you at?
Well, don't you know, dealer? I can take that $500 or $600 and go get a PC that is capable of the PS5 and the Xbox
You
Series
sure could.
X.
And I don't know why anybody would have a problem with you doing that or anyone else doing that. As King would say, quit watching my pockets. So
Yeah. In other news, I'm not sure if you guys think this is a big deal. I really don't think it's a big deal, but it was just one of the news things in the week that came up. I don't even know why they acquired them. Maybe dealer you might know or King you might know. But Rockstar acquires Crackdown 2 developer Ruffian Games.
Bill Cosby's favorite developer.
You said Rockstar acquired them?
Yeah, Rockstar
Yeah.
acquires Crackdown 2 developer Ruffian Games. What was the last thing they even made? I don't even remember who they are.
Roofies.
Roofies.
I don't know.
Prohibit
Crackdown 2?
Yeah, that was in the title. So
it seems like they were a pretty good tag team developer because it looked like they helped out on Halo, Reach, and 3 and 4. So they probably just bought them for manpower.
Like a support team.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah,
what it
Edinburgh,
appears to me.
Edinburgh is not exactly a local fountain of or bedrock, can I say, of creative talent. So I think Rockstar North, over a large number of years, have amassed a huge team from all over the world, really. And I think Ruffian Games is not that huge, and I believe they're in Dundee, which would put them about 90 minutes drive from each other. I'm sure they either know of each other or are well acquainted with one another. If Rockstar needed to either replace, replenish, or add to their existing team, I guess Ruffian may have been well suited. And let's be honest, in England right now, people are, England's always been a very strong technical country. Not very artistic in terms of the talent pool that it has. So it often pulls in people from Italy, France, and even from the Middle East to make up their numbers. A lot of the studios are very, very multicultural. But where Rockstar is, it's freezing cold. And maybe there's not much that's going on commercially in England at the moment. And so it basically doesn't. There isn't that many third party projects, if I can put it like that. Definitely not on the horizon, not in the current climate that England's in at the moment. So then I guess some sort of deal, whether to purchase it or absorb Ruffian and make it out to be an acquisition, just to sort of give Rockstar some PR, makes sense for both companies.
I guess that's a better answer than I had.
Oh, okay.
That works, VJ, because I had no clue who they really were.
I spent time up in Newcastle, and Newcastle's obviously still in England, but it's just over the border across from Edinburgh, and Dundee's not that far away. So that's why I know. And Rockstar North is obviously being in England. That's what everybody knows about, right? If you know about games. So anyway, sorry. And Cody's obviously, but Cody's aren't really quite what they used to be. Not after the brothers left. But anyway, I think we're getting sidetracked again, so I'm going to put myself on mute on purpose. One moment.
No, that's okay. That's okay, VJ. I swear, I think you're in the industry and you're just not telling anybody because you just know a lot of stuff in the background about studios.
I just don't have a lot to do, really. And I've been listening to podcasts for a while, and it was just that I plucked up the courage to get in touch with Boom. And he was, I did reach out to a few, actually, but he was really sort of kind enough to actually jump onto StreamYard and had a chat with me and then gave me a chance. Then he gave me another chance. And then I think it was Insipid Gamer, maybe Insipid Ghost had left a spot open, and I got my chance to become a panel member on Xbox Factor podcast. And yes, and this I've just been enjoying.
Hey, by the way, if you didn't hear back from certain people, I'm sure I probably wasn't one of them. I'm just saying. I get so many messages that I just never get to, and it's not like a personal thing.
Absolutely.
At all.
Don't worry.
David, on the other hand, this motherfucker will definitely ignore all your shit unless you have an Xbox logo on Twitter.
No, it's not that. It's like we're all human.
Me all the time on Xbox. Don't be a woman.
Dealers, why are you contacting me directly? Go to my people.
My people.
It's not, it's not that we're all human, right? And we've all got stuff going on in our own lives. There's only a certain capacity and a certain amount of time that we can allow for our hobbies and connecting with people,
A
right?
dealer needs to make more time for me.
Oh, okay. We talk about offline.
I want
together.
another King David bedtime story.
Oh man.
No, I mean that's facts right there. What Dealer said, because I'd messaged Dealer earlier, reminding him about the podcast, and then he was like, "Podcast today?" I was
That's
like,
not what I said, motherfucker. Yeah, I cuss a lot. I'm sorry. I guess I can not be myself, and it'd be weird, but I'm just me. Clown sent me the tweet for the podcast like yesterday. I'm like, did you even tweet about this shit? I didn't even see it, so I had to have him send it to me again.
Yep.
I do that a lot too.
Yeah, King does do that a lot, unless you put like Phil Maximus Donimus Spencer, right? Is that the terminology we use these days?
Dominus Maximus Aurelius, sir. Respect that man's name. He brought us back to respectability.
Yeah, he
And
did.
looked up to other dudes, we would have definitely been in dumpsters.
Shout out to Fastback in the chat. Fan of the Fastback there.
And I tell people,
Hey, clowns.
Yo.
What's next on the dockets here, sir?
Yeah, I was just about to get into that because I already changed the video. The last thing is really the last major topic is that the press release recently that Xbox did, and they showed the difference in the frames per second on, Fallout 4. And they had, a lot of information there that it was the best place to play thousands of games from across generations of Xbox, including like auto HDR, innovations to classics, double frame rates, and enhanced visuals. So I just wanted to get your guys' take on this and what you feel. Do you feel this is 100% truth coming from Xbox this time, marketing around?
Lies from hell, like normal.
Yeah, there's lies on the internet, right? It's going to be all over
I mean,
Reddit
of
tomorrow.
course it's true. We've already seen it with the X to a much smaller degree. You're going to get automatic performance benefits. You're going to get texture filtering because of the increased RAM, better load times, and of course because the GPU is just basically idling, right? So you're going to get better performance. Dynamic resolution is going to work better. It makes sense. It's what they're already doing, but what they're not really doing today is things like auto HDR, right? That's actually really cool. I got a OLED C9, a B7. I mean, HDR, it does so much. And if you're going to spend money on a TV, make sure it's got a full 10-bit panel at least. And again, OLED is phenomenal for this, but auto HDR is really, really cool. Apparently it works for many, many more games. And I like the original Sunset Overdrive, for instance, like it's got HDR on the Series X, and it won't have like white color gamut and stuff, but it will have like the specular kind of luminance that comes with that, and I think it's still very impressive for one. And secondly, you do have like Fallout's doing, right? They have doubled Fallout 4's frame rate, so it's 60 FPS back compat, and that had a frame rate lock on it. So they have gotten around the frame rate lock of the game, and I don't know exactly how they're doing that yet. I'm actually going to reach out and try to figure that out. They probably won't tell me shit, but I think that's incredibly impressive. Though somebody did point out they only said the S had 60 FPS, and that is running the Xbox One S version. So Series S will do 60 FPS, but they haven't really confirmed the X, which is running the Xbox One X version at 4K, right? So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe they just said the S because it seems more impressive, but at the end of the day, I mean, they're doing a lot of really, really cool stuff, including up-resing things that without a patch. So like Gears of War Ultimate Edition, right? That game is going to be 4K, whereas now on the Xbox One X, it's not in patch today on the One X, but on Series X, it's 4K. They've done little things here and there to really ramp up your experience with all games, right? From what I've seen. That's someone's
I
key to
mean,
jump in.
I'm staring at the video here of the Fallout, and it really looks 100% better. And the fact that the Series S can do this, I'm actually impressed, to be honest with you.
Send that video to me, right?
Yep, I will. King,
I mean,
any
the
thoughts?
first. Oh,
I'm sorry, Midway, go ahead.
that's okay. All hail the king.
No, Midway, go. You go.
I was just gonna say that the first time I played Gears 4 on the performance mode, I was blown away just
So
by
amazing.
the frames itself. Yeah, I mean, I not only did I feel like 1080p, I felt like it was like 1080p super. Like I felt like even textures and everything was even enhanced.
It
So
was, yeah. You're
I
basically
mean,
playing the PC version right there, man.
Hmm.
It's good. Hey, and you
awesome.
really,
I
you're
didn't even
sensitive
know
to
it.
frame rate, right? Like you're like, this is
Yeah,
so much better. I can see everything so much better.
right. I mean, when you're playing an action game, you're not worried about what's on the horizon. You're worried about what's in front of your face.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was going through everything, it just all the textures, every rock looking, even in 1080p, even looking so much more detail. So, and I can already see in this video on the podcast how much more detailed 60 frames looks compared to 30.
That's what we were asking for. We were asking for them to prioritize frame rate. Because everybody was talking this 8K stuff. I'm like, shut up with this 8K stuff. People don't even have 8K television. I don't have
I'm
an 8K
over it.
television. Um,
I don't even want it.
well,
Where's
I
this
do.
video at? Where'd you
I
find
want
this video, clowns? Is that on their YouTube channel?
It was actually in the press release on Xbox Wire. Let me see here. I think I might have actually already sent it to you in the show notes in the DM. It's the last one, the bottom one.
I like
Yeah.
that.
So, I think people have a misconception when it comes to the Xbox Series. I mean, yeah, the Xbox Series S, and everybody wanted to replace the X. No, it's going to replace the all digital. It's going to replace that, right? But it's going to have better frame rates, uh,
It's
better
the new generation
resolution.
Xbox One S, right? Like it
Yeah,
replaces the low
that's
income.
it. And the Series X is replacing the Xbox One X. So that's the metrics that you should look at. Those two, compare those two. Because everybody keeps comparing the Series S to that, or comparing
You
it to a
can't. I mean, compare
PlayStation.
the Series S to the Xbox One X all day long. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
The Series S crushes the X. I mean, you get 120 frames on several games confirmed AAA games. I mean, people were calling me
but
insane when I was saying this shit. This
but
stuff is already being confirmed on Gears. You
yeah,
see the Gears patch? Have you seen the
yeah.
screenshot?
But dealers, see, their biggest thing is the biggest concern is the 4K.
Well, then you better spend the
It's
money
not,
for 4K. You
yeah,
know, I
it's
mean,
not
shit.
not native
Well,
dealer.
I mean, what about those people rocking the 720p's TCLs, King?
I don't care
Why are
about
you
those
guys picking
guys.
on the TCL? All right, the
Man, because
TCL
it's
6 series is
terrible.
quality TV here. Come on.
Stop that. Well, you know what it is? It's
Chinese.
definitely the highest selling television in is in North America, I believe. Right? Well, I mean, because it's the
I
Black
mean, that
Friday
6 series though,
television.
you got to give it props. It changed the game at that price point. Like you get
Yeah,
real
it did.
HDR, close to
I,
1,000 nits, like
listen,
pretty
listen.
legit.
It will continue to change the game.
I've
And
got
other people
nothing but
out.
OLEDs, and I'm giving the TCL props. Okay.
Yeah. See, I tell you, put your money where your mouth is. That's what I say. Anyway.
Well,
What King talk shit? I actually bought my
oh,
parents a TCL QLED for Christmas, and looking at that thing, man, like it was pretty nice, man, for the money, especially.
you
Go
can
ahead.
Nice.
think of it this way too.
You
You
know
can
I'm
think of
mad
it
at you,
this,
right?
this way too.
You know I'm mad at you, right?
I know you are.
You are buying the Series S at the same price as the 1S 4 years ago,
Yes.
4 times the power.
Yes.
It's all about those
Yes.
teraflops, right?
It's different, man.
And get all
Like
them frame rates at
listen,
900p apparently.
listen to
And the
Dilla.
bells and
He'll
whistles.
explain those teraflops to you, how they're completely different because of the technology that's behind it. And because I was ignorant to the fact until I had to, listen to what he was explaining and how. So you think I'm joking, right? You really think I'm joking?
I really don't.
Because I didn't. I was like these Twitter idiots is like, yo, man, 6 teraflops, 4 teraflops, man. What are you talking about, man?
Is that what they sound like?
I
They
just
sound like
felt-
they're about okay. All right.
That's how I felt. And then I looked at it and RDNA and all this other stuff, and
You saw the performance gains with RDNA 2 over RDNA, yeah, GCN, blah blah.
ridiculous. It's night and day. But these guys, like it's nothing new. If you've watched what Microsoft has been doing over the period of time with back and pat, these games have been performing better. Older games have been performing better. But what you see now with the brute force of these new consoles, they're pushing it through without being patched to do so. The velocity architecture isn't being implemented, and these are being brute forced up. So that bodes well going forward because they already have a substantial foundation. And that's good, and that's great for me because everybody's saying they don't have any games in the beginning of launch. Well, I have a backlog that's crazy, and I'm gonna get into my backlog, and I'm gonna play probably 2 or 3 new games that I haven't played yet. I'm definitely gonna play my Destiny dealer, um,
Trash.
because the new DLC drops that
I
day.
might play it at 60 FPS. I might give it another try, but
Oh, you're
trash.
gonna let me inside your chat?
Nope,
See,
you're not allowed in.
He told you. See, told you.
Look, David's always huddled off by himself. Don't worry
So-
about what this fraud is telling you right now.
This is true. He's not lying. I'm always offline, but
We're
I'm
taking the
always
show over.
on.
Clowns, how you been, buddy? Let's go to the next thing
You
you're talking
know,
about.
pretty good actually. Dune Dunes from Twitch says, "Why would you even play this, assuming Fallout 4, out of VR?" I guess that has
Well,
something to do with the
because
topic that we're talking about, right, dealer?
that's like saying, why would you own any other computer that doesn't have a VR headset attached to it? That's just a dumb question, in my opinion. I feel like a great Fallout 4 is a good game, and that's why you would play it, I guess.
Yeah, if you
That's like
like it,
saying, why
play
would
it.
you play Witcher 3 because it doesn't have VR? Well, because it's probably the best game ever made. Or why would you play God of War without VR because it's the best game ever made? Like, we're very not only waste of time question, but I just want to double down on wasting of the time because I'm really me doing this right now is wasting even more time. So thanks for the question.
Thanks. We
Yeah.
only have so much time with these guys.
Yeah.
I only get to hang out with
Dealer's
Midway for so long, and you fuckers are stealing the shit.
Seriously.
Midway,
Well,
tell us about your life.
yeah, man.
Well,
I'm
studied
looking at this
at
Fallout
Juilliard.
footage, honestly, clowns, and it looks great, man. Like, when I heard that, I was very happy because it's one of the games that I put a little bit of time into on PC, and I just don't like playing on PC. I'm a console guy, so to bring this at hopefully Xbox One X fidelity on the X today, or at least coming out soon, hopefully we can see this kind of fidelity at that frame rate. That was announced today. And I'm just now seeing this footage, so it looks good.
Yeah, it definitely does. I don't even think PlayStation is going to be able to do some of the stuff that Xbox is doing. And when they try, something's going to break, and they're going to need a patch, and you're going to need to update that, and then
Don't be
they're gonna-
toxic.
yeah, no, I'm just being honest, dealer. I'm being honest, because they don't even know what their backwards compatibility plan is,
Mm.
So I think they're even
Don't
confused.
tell the truth.
I
I have a
can't tell the
question.
truth, right? Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead, Midway.
I'm not a tech guy, so just slap me across the face if I say something wrong. But to go from 60 to 120, do you have to? Can you go to 60 to 90 to 120?
With the trick they're using here, I think you
Like
have
no,
to.
just
I think
I'm
you can
just
only
saying like
double.
in general. So you always want to double the frame rate. So like the next one would be 240.
Well, there's no 90 hertz TVs out there. So basically, it's got to divide evenly into the TV's refresh rate, or else you get screen tear.
Okay. Thank you.
Clowns.
Yeah, sorry, you guys may have seen my mother-in-law appear on the podcast there in the background. So
Hello,
shout
clowns,
out to
mother-in-law.
yeah, shout out to her. I mean, other than that, there's really not a lot of other news except Dealer just did something about Dirt 5. I mean, go ahead and shout out your video, Dealer. I mean, that was a pretty hot topic. You dropped it yesterday, right?
Oh, yeah, the Dirt account retweeted it. Kind of funny. That's
Yep. Yep, go watch it.
it.
Damn it, Dealer, I was trying to build it up. Ah! I mean, other than that, yeah, FanFest, don't forget about that. And I'm just, dealer's got RDX tonight. I'll let him tell you all about that too. And with that, I mean, kind of like out of here. Those are all the topics I had. Not a whole lot going on. So, yeah. And thanks for subscription, Scony. Appreciate it. Everybody's seeing Flamish on the screen. They're getting all excited there. They keep hitting that subscription button. Hero says wait, but I don't think we can wait. There's not much left. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and let our guests give out their outros. Dealer, what's up, man? Where can people find you?
Crickets.
Yeah, he went silent.
He probably doesn't know he's muted.
Yep. Silence. It
Well,
was
well, like Jay-Z says,
There you
on to
go.
the next
He's
one.
back.
All right, want to say what? I had to run to the door real quick.
Oh. Anyway, I was saying.
We were on your outros.
Yeah, on your outro. Yeah.
You could find me at Chuck E. Cheese. No, you could find me at dealer_gaming on Twitter and dealer gaming on YouTube. Check out my last video. YouTube didn't want to recommend it very much, so maybe you guys can push it for me. I appreciate it. And of course, subscribe and whatnot. And unsubscribe from King David.
No, he might come for your knees. Don't do that. Bad idea.
I need my kneecaps.
He doesn't give unfactual.
Check out Iron Lords. They're one of the best podcasts around. We're doing RDX here. What time is it? I don't know. Soon, and we'll be live tonight, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you guys in the chat where we have a ton of topics. And I'll be in host mode, so that should be great.
Sounds awesome. King, when you're not breaking kneecaps or in the boxing ring or chasing people out of the GameStop,
fighting children for Xboxes.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Iron Lords Podcast Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time during this football season. Or as soon as this football season, we can go right back to 1 p.m. KOS will be up this week. That's King of the Statues, where you can see that Betty Ray Bill statue from XM Studios go up. And I give you an in-depth about why I actually have the statue, a little background history on him. If you don't know him, why does he look like Thor and why does he have the Stormbreaker in his hand? I'll tell you why. Check that out. And you can check me out on Darth Castle X, that's DCX, Friday nights at 9 p.m. The best damn statue show in the known universe. I'm not saying it because it's me. I'm saying it because there's a bunch of multimillionaires over there talking statues. So you can get a whole peek inside the world of statues and what goes on there and how you can get these display units. If you can see, it's 2 different display units here right now. So you can definitely check that out and see how to care for your statues and where you should purchase and who you should talk to about that stuff. So
King,
thank you, Clowns and Dealer and everyone in the panel. You guys are fantastic. It was a great day. Trust me.
Take your ass to bed, King. We know
you're
crawling underneath your snuggie right now, as you're saying.
He knows I'm sleeping at this time.
Slowly crawling into bed, just like me last week after the Greenberg interview. Thinking he's like, yeah.
See the hoodie.
Slowly crawling underneath the covers as I do my outro.
King probably can't see this unless he's watching the stream, but this is a statue I have. It was a $5 statue on clearance of Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy.
From GameStop, wasn't it?
No, it was from a place called Movie Stop that went out of business. So,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, $5.
A Kotobukiya.
Yep, $5.
Isn't it? Well, see, that's a PVC. That's a plastic vinyl collectible.
Yeah, see, I mean, if I keep this up, I could join King Statues, right?
I told you they have statues that start as low as $80 that are actual statues made from resin and stuff like that. And you don't have to be super rich because there's plenty of statues that I don't purchase. That those guys do that I can't afford at all. I stay in my lane. This is my lane.
Nice. Well, VJ.
Stuff. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, King. Go ahead.
No.
Keep going.
No. We good.
All right. VJ,
Like an awkward first date.
yeah, it sounds like that, right? VJ, where can people find you?
After the show, probably in a cupboard having a bacon sandwich and a cup of tea. I just wanted to give a shout out to Dealer and to David. Sorry, I've been a bit low today, but I just wanted to say it was a really pleasant, educational, entertaining having you both on the show. And David, I've got to know you a little bit better over the few months. And Dealer, I hope to meet you again soon. Midway, it's always a pleasure. Don't forget the tea next time, and chocolate mini rolls for next show. You forgot them this week. And
Midway,
Clown,
you know his sugar's high. Don't bring the chocolate.
and Clowns, I really appreciate the opportunity for being a panel member on Four Guys with Quarters. I really appreciate the invite, and thanks for trusting me.
Absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure having you here, and maybe one day we'll sit down and eat some English sarnies and beans and toast
Sure,
and have a
absolutely.
chat.
Some crumpets.
Some crumpets, yeah.
Scones.
Some bottle of water.
Bottle of water, yeah.
Uh,
You need to work on
Midway.
that.
Hey, my buddy Dar, some motherfucker cannot pronounce T. Bottle of water.
That's because he's from up further north in
I
England.
think, yeah, he lives in the sewer over there in London, so he's one of my good buddies.
What's in the sewer? Nice.
This motherfucker's a Ninja Turtle from England.
Midway, where can people find you when you're not at the gym working out?
Which is why those mini rolls are gone. I need them gains. So, Midway 7 Monster on Xbox Live. Midway 8 Monster on Twitter. For some reason, the 7 was taken. King, I bend the knee. It was a pleasure talking to you. Dealer, always a good time. Light news day for us. Glad you guys could entertain us a little bit. VJ, I'll make sure I bring them mini rolls and make sure I have a cup of tea ready for you.
Thank you.
He's in Kentucky. There, that wasn't an English one. That was a Kentucky one.
Kentucky.
Ah,
Yeah, he's in Kentucky in that accent. Anyway, yeah, good to meet you, Midway.
likewise, sir.
Clown,
well,
before you
older
jump
than
in.
you.
Yeah. No, I was just about Dealer. You read my mind.
God damn it, Clowns! You
How
gotta be on it. Come on.
How did you read my mind as jumping
You're in the school. You're in the school now. All right, this is live
Yeah.
training.
in?
do
You guys can find me at Italian Clowns on Twitter almost everywhere. You can find me on Four Guys with Quarters on Tuesdays, 4GQ TV News, 3 days a week with my buddy Flamish, who likes to take his shirt off for some reason. Occasionally calls himself the Belgian sensation across the nation. Don't miss that guy. He's hilarious. And tomorrow we actually have a really big interview lined up with, I probably pronounced her name wrong, and she's a Hollywood actress, so I hope she doesn't get mad at me, but Sayaban Hewlett. So we're going to have that with her. We're going to do a Zoom convo on this channel. She's been in several movies. She's been in several TV shows, and she's on voice acting for the Dark Queen on Battletoads. Maya Brooks on Mass Effect 3 and some stuff in Final Fantasy. So be looking for that, and we'll drop that. And then we have 2 more voice actresses lined up after that as well, and I'll announce that as we get closer. But see y'all guys later.